Israel is the only truly democratic secular country in the Middle East, right in the middle of all of them. In line with the medieval thinking, Arab rulers know how to control their populations. Keep them ignorant. That's how you rule people. Keep them ignorant and control the content and flow of information into society. You brainwash them into believing whatever you want them to believe, using the government-controlled newspapers, radio, and television. Then let human nature, pumped with hatred, anger, rage, pain and suffering, and spiced with Islamic holy deception, take its course. Another method these one-man or religion-based regimes use to stay in power is to create a sideshow to distract the population from problems at home. That's why the Arab world has done nothing to help the Palestinian refugees they created when they attacked Israel in 1948. It's called the Palestinian refugee problem. This is one of the best tricks that the Arabs have played on the world, and they have used it to their great advantage when fighting Israel in the form of public opinion. The lie was pulled off masterfully, and everyone has been falling for it ever since. First, you tell people to leave their homes and villages because you are going to come in and kick out the Jews the day after the UN grants Israel its nationhood. You fail in your military objective, the Jews are still alive and have more land now than before, and you have thousands of upset, displaced refugees living in your country because they believed in you. So you and the UN build refugee camps that are designed to last only 5 years and crowd the people in, instead of integrating them into your society and giving them citizenship. After a few years of overcrowding and deteriorating living conditions, you get the media to visit and publish a lot of pictures of these poor people living in the hopeless, wretched squalor you have left them in. In 1967, you get all your cronies together with their guns and tanks and planes and start beating the war drums. Again, the same old story. You are really going to kill all the Jews this time or drive them into the sea. And everyone will be able to go back home, take over what the Jews have developed, and live in a Jew-free Middle East. Again you fail, and now there are even more refugees living in your countries, and Israel is even larger, with Jerusalem as its capital. Time for more pictures of more camps and suffering children. What is to be done about those poor refugees that not even the Arabs want? Then start Middle Eastern students' organizations on U.S. college campuses and find some young idealistic American college kids who have no idea of what has been described here so far, and have them take up the cause. Now enter some power-hungry type like Yasser Arafat, who begins to blackmail you and your Arab friends who created the mess for guns and bombs and money to fight the Israelis. Then Arafat creates hell for the world, starting in the 1970s with his terrorism, and the Palestinian refugee problem becomes a worldwide issue and galvanizes all your citizens and the world against Israel. Along comes the suicide bombers. So to keep the pot boiling, you finance the show by paying every bomber's family $25,000. This encourages more crazies to go blow themselves up, killing civilians and children riding buses to school. Saudi Arabia held telethons to raise thousands of dollars to the families of suicide bombers. What a perfect way to turn years of military failure into a public opinion campaign success. The perpetuation of lies and uncritical thinking, combined with repetitious anti-Jewish and anti-American diatribes, has produced a generation of Arab youth incapable of thinking in a civilized manner. This government-nurtured rage towards the West and the infidels continues today, perpetuating their economic failure and deflecting frustration away from the dictators and regimes that oppress them. This refusal by Arab regimes to take an honest look at themselves has created a culture of scapegoating that blames Western civilization for misery and failure in every aspect of Arab life. So far, it seems that Arab leaders don't mind their people lagging behind, save for King Abdullah's recent evidence of concern. The depth of his sincerity remains to be seen. Arab countries, tribes with flags. To get a better understanding of the societies that introduced mass killing by suicide bombers, we must understand how the culture operates. Arab countries are tribes with flags. As Arab tribes in the Middle East were divided by the British and the French and given land that both these powers controlled, new countries emerged that are now considered a part of the international community. However, these tribes kept to themselves because of their religion, culture, and way of life. The lack of transition, education, and business development in these countries ensures that most people stay trapped within their societies and cultures, ruled by centuries-old tribal customs, traditions, and ways of thinking that are still revered and followed as they were hundreds of years ago.